Have you ever felt like your life is just one giant game of whack-a-mole? You're running around, hair on fire, heart racing. But by the end of the day, you realize you haven't done a single thing that actually matters. Your bank account is still depressing, and your to-do list is longer than it was this morning. Most people will tell you that you're just lazy, or you need more hustle, or you lack self-discipline. But today, I'm going to tell you the cold, hard truth. It's probably not your fault. Your brain has simply entered scarcity mode. A group of behavioral scientists from Harvard and Princeton discovered something that flips everything we know about success on its head. They found that people aren't poor because they're bad with money. They're bad with money because they are poor. People aren't overwhelmed because they're bad at time management. They're bad at time management because they are overwhelmed. It sounds like a circular argument, right? But this is the scarcity trap, and it is the single most important reason why you feel stuck. By the end of this video, not just going to understand why you're trapped in this busy and broke cycle. I'm going to give you a literal blueprint to reclaim your brain, its bandwidth, and finally turn off the emergency sirens in your head. Let's start with a metaphor. Imagine you're packing a suitcase for a trip. If you have a massive, high-quality suitcase, packing is easy. You fold your clothes nicely. You pack an extra book, a spare umbrella, and some just-in-case items. You have slack. Your mind is relaxed. Now, imagine your suitcase is tiny. You're sweating, you're shoving things in, you're literally sitting on the lid trying to force the zipper shut. Because you're so hyper-focused on fitting that one last pair of shoes, you completely forget to pack your passport. This is the first core concept of the book, the tunneling effect. When you feel a desperate lack of something, whether it's money, time, or even social connection, your brain enters a tunnel. You focus intensely on the immediate crisis inside that tunnel, and everything outside of it, like your long-term health, your future career, or your relationships, completely disappears. Look at a typical freelancer. Let's call her Sarah. Sarah is behind on her rent. She's in the tunnel. She takes on a low-paying, soul-crushing gig just to get some quick cash. Because she's so focused on that one bill, she doesn't realize that by taking this gig, she's missing out on a much bigger opportunity that could have solved her money problems for the whole year. She solved the immediate fire, but she burnt down her future to do it. The scariest part is tunneling makes you temporarily less intelligent. In a famous study, researchers tested sugarcane farmers in India. These farmers get paid once a year. Before the harvest, they are poor. After the harvest, they are flush with cash. The study found that the same farmer scored 13 points lower on an IQ test when he was poor compared to when he was rich. Think about that, 13 points. That's the difference between being average and being legally borderline. When you're worried about survival, your brain's bandwidth is full. You aren't dumb. You just have too many background programs running to think clearly. And this leads to the most dangerous move, borrowing. When you're in the tunnel, you stop caring about tomorrow. You borrow time from tonight by staying up until 3 a.m. to finish a project. You borrow money from next month by using a high-interest credit card. It feels like a relief in the moment, but you're paying a massive scarcity interest rate. You stay up late, so you're exhausted tomorrow. You're exhausted, so you make mistakes. Make mistakes, so you have to work even harder to fix them. It's a death spiral. So, how do we actually fix this? Most productivity gurus will tell you to just be more efficient, but the book argues that being efficient is actually part of the problem. If you try to fill every second of your day, you have zero slack. Think of a hospital. If a hospital schedules 100% of its operating rooms to be full all the time, to be efficient, what happens when an emergency patient arrives? The whole system crashes. The smartest hospitals keep one room empty on purpose. It looks wasteful, but that waste is what keeps the system running when life happens. So how do you build that empty room in your life? Let's get into the deep dive strategy. Step 1. Perform a bandwidth audit. You need to identify the cognitive leaks in your life. Do you have unpaid bills sitting on your desk? An awkward email you haven't replied to? A pile of laundry you've been ignoring? These things are like adware in your brain. They are eating your bandwidth even when you aren't looking at them. Spend one full afternoon closing these loops. Either do them, delegate them, or consciously decide you are not going to do them and delete them from your mental list. The goal is zero mental hanging. Step 2. Build artificial slack. If you're an office worker, stop scheduling meetings back to back. Force yourself to have 20 minutes of white space between tasks. This isn't for checking Instagram, it's for detunneling. It's a buffer that allows you to breathe so you do uncarry the stress of meeting A into meeting B. If you're a freelancer or small business owner, keep a Slack fund, not a savings account. Call it a bandwidth fund. It's money you keep, just so you don't feel desperate. When you have that buffer, you make better decisions. You negotiate better. and you stop taking bad clients out of fear. Step 3. Use your abundance to protect your scarcity. This is the most critical move. When do you have the most bandwidth? Usually right after a big project ends or right after payday. That is the only time you are rational. Use that moment to pre-commit. Set up automatic transfers to your savings the second your paycheck hits, so you don't have to use your willpower later. Prepare your healthy meals for the week on Sunday when you're full and happy. So you do, and have to fight the urge for pizza on Wednesday when you re-exhausted and in the tunnel. Use your rich self to subsidize your poor self. Step 4. Manage the tunnel, don't fight it. Look, tunneling is a human instinct. You can't turn it off. So, if you're in a crisis, use that hyper-focus to get the job done. But you must set a decompression alarm. Tell yourself, I am going to tunnel for the next 48 hours to finish this. But on Friday at 5 p.m., I am stepping out of the tunnel no matter what. You have to give yourself a hard exit strategy, or the tunnel becomes your permanent home. Finally, you have to be kind to your bandwidth. Stop beating yourself up for being unproductive. When you're in a scarcity trap, your brain is literally operating with a smaller processor. Self-criticism is just another program that eats up your RAM. You aren't a failure. You're just in a high-pressure system. Don't try to be a better worker. Be a better architect of your environment. Your suitcase is too small. Stop trying to shove more in. Either get a bigger suitcase or start taking things out. The reality of scarcity is a bit haunting. Being busy and broke isn't just a situation. It becomes a state of mind. But once you realize that, bandwidth is your most precious resource, more precious than time and more precious than money. You can finally start to protect it. So look at your life right now. What is the one thing that is eating up the most of your mental bandwidth? Is it a toxic relationship? A specific debt? Or just the fact that you never give yourself permission to do nothing? Drop a comment below and let's talk about it. Sometimes just naming the scarcity is the first step to breaking the spell. Understanding the trap is the beginning of the journey. But in the next video, I'm going to show you how to take this to the next level by talking about energy management. Because managing your time is useless if your processor is fried. We're going to talk about how to recharge your bandwidth for real. I'll see you in the next one.